obviously, very recently, you've been angry. Your chest was tight and no logical thing was getting through. I want you to sit with 3 questions. When you were angry, like you were not long ago, I want you to ask yourself, why in that particular moment set you off? What am I able to learn from this right now? And the last one, what is the most constructive thing I can do in this moment? Now, those couple of questions, I just want you to hold them for a minute while I quickly run you through the process of how you actually got to where you got to. And one of the key things, and it's biological, is our fight or flight response. We get conditioned through experiences to go from 0 to next, like, ultimate level. And the more you do it, and the more it just gets, I wouldn't say easier, but you're building there's a rut, like a road, imagine. And over time, you go over the same path again and again, and that just gets deeper and deeper. So insane, it makes it actually harder to get out of. So that's your fight or flight. And anger is a reaction, a normal reaction to that, to perceived insights, or perceived slights, or embarrassment. We just snap, right? But if your explosive anger is becoming a problem, and not just being angry, because that's natural, but how you externalize that or internalize. Because that was my biggest issue, is that when I used to get angry, I used to internalize the anger. It wouldn't be explosive, but I'd chew on it like a cow chewing on cud, just over and over again. Now, can you imagine what that was doing to my stress levels over time? And if I was doing that and something else happened, how fast do you think I got from being just a little annoyed about something to the next level? I was already there. And that's what happens. And that's why when we get angry, if we don't find ways, and I'm going to give you one shortly, if we don't find ways to decompress or reduce the amount of stimulation or triggers that are coming into our lives, you're always going to be at a 9, and something's going to flick you to a 10. And going back to that question, is that something that's really going to matter in 5 years' time? That one particular thing, or any of those particular things that built up over time to get you where you are or where you have been? Because I know you're looking for a solution. That's why you're here. So apart from the questions, that I'm going to get you to pick one that you can hold in your brain over time, is box breathing. It's when you feel like you've been triggered and you're about to snap, to get yourself from angry to zen in 60 seconds, I just want you to breathe. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Hold for another 4, and then breathe in for 4. And doing that, it just centers your mind. You're not in fight or flight mode. You're focused on breathing, and that's internalizing. You know, it's just stopping you, and you're giving your brain something else to focus on. Now, do that for like 3 or 4 sets. And while you're doing that, or after you've finished doing that, because normally you can only do one thing at a time, I want you to hold one of those questions that I earlier. Is this going to matter in 5 years' time? If not, let it go. Another question was, what in this particular moment has set me off? What is my trigger? Because if you're able to identify your triggers, then you can follow a process of starting to eliminate them from your life. Now, I'm not talking about eliminating your kids or your wife or your work colleagues, but your interactions with them, or it's probably not that person, but it's something they did. So don't let that person's actions control the way you feel. You can learn to control. And this is part of the transformational journey, right? It takes the first step in looking up, how can I be less angry? And then this takes you on a journey of self-discovery about what sets you off and what tools, because there's lots of tools that can use to reduce the amount that's coming in. Like I've been feeling overwhelmed and stressed, to then reducing the amount of explosion, or you're internalizing and like a cow chewing on it over and over again, like I used to. That's the real trick. But it's a process and it takes time. The other couple of questions were, if you can hold on to them, were, what can I learn from this? And what's the most constructive thing I can do right now? So they're very similar. Different questions will appeal to different people. So what can I learn from this? That's, like I said, about your triggers. You're learning what's your triggers, learning what to stay away from. Well, if you can't stay away from, how to minimize the interactions. Or if you can't remove it from your life completely, you've got to look back through and see what other triggers that you possibly remove and eliminate or reduce. And constructive. Well, you're being constructive. If you're eliminating your triggers, then you are working through a process of not being as angry and trying to get to that Zen state. Because I know I'm not perfect, but I know that I'm a lot better off using these tools and practicing being Zen than I was when I was angry and internalizing everything. So what I want you to do today and carrying it forward is pick one of those questions and carry it in your front of your mind. Next time you feel like you're going to be triggered, do your box breathing. Go through that question. Ask yourself, it's going to matter in 5 years' time. What can I learn from this? Why am I getting triggered? And that will start the process. That is one simple tool that starts you on the process of transforming your life from being an angry person into a more Zen. And if we have less angry people in the world and more Zen, then we'll all be better off. Now, my course is not for everyone. It's not for people who are looking to be told it's not your fault. It's for people that, you're here, it's for people that have realized it's not good. There's something not right and they're looking to fix. And going forward, you're going to make your family's life better. You're going to make your life better, your work situation better. because a lot of it is how you're feeling, right? And controlling the emotions. And anger is probably the most explosive emotion you can control. So the link for my course is in the description below. I've also got an ebook, and that's in the description below, Less Than a Tank of Gas. Now, if you feel like this helped, please like and subscribe so the next person in your situation can find it. And let's make this world a better place. Thank you.